Oh, no, that can't be. Am I muted? No, I don't know if I'm muted or not. Okay, we're going to figure this out. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Today's title is, oh no. J'ai trompé. We're going to do this over again. Let's go back here. All right, hold on, y'all. I am coming. Okay, here we go. And here we go. All right. Leave your 9 to 5 job in four doable steps. Okay, this I can get rid of, and we are ready. All right, I am going live here. Okay. It always makes it move so much closer. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. That's better. All right, hi everybody. It's Crystalline here. And just pause that. All right, hi, thanks everyone for joining me today. The topic for today is leave your 9 to 5 job in 4 doable steps. I think I named it wrong. Gosh darn it. Is it supposed to be, oh, Rebecca, I'm so sorry. I think I called it wrong. Hey, Lindsay, I'm glad you made it. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining in. Okay, y'all, look, we're going to be talking about leaving your 9 to 5 job today, even if I've gotten the title a bit wrong. I know that you want to be a life coach, and I want to talk to you today about what that process needs to look like, because this is a very real thing that you can make happen, but you have to do it the right way. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard, and it doesn't have to be that hard. You don't have to struggle. And if you don't do it the right way, then it will be a struggle, okay? So I want to welcome you to the League of Badass Butterflies. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're watching live, please, in the comments, type in #live. If you're watching the replay, type in #replay, okay? And let's see, let me get my notes open, and we're going to tuck in here. So look, everyone who is watching this, you're watching for one reason, okay? You're watching because you have an inner calling to be a spiritual life coach, all right? And chances are, if you're watching this, you are working on a 9 to 5 job. And look, I imagine that you are damned good at your job, okay? I had a 9 to 5 job. I was really good at it. And as you and I both, okay, I had my 9 to 5 job. You were probably also very grateful for your job, meaning you were like, look, this job pays my bills. There are so many people who are out of work, and I am really blessed to have this job, and it's paying me plenty to take care of my life, okay? It's paying me to be able to afford my lifestyle and all of these things, okay? This is really good, all right? This is good that you are grateful for your job. You're able to take care of your family, and you see that and you recognize it. Okay, this is important because that attitude of gratitude is keeping your vibration up. So even though you're working on this 9 to 5 job, it is not necessarily the perfect job for you. All right, let's just put it that way. Your job, as one of my students the other day said, she said, it's not who I am. I'm not this job. And she's very good at it. She's someone I've known for years, and she has worked her way up the corporate ladder, but it is not, her job is not her magnificence. Even though she's damn good at it, it is not the best that she has to offer. Okay. And like her, like I was back in the day when I had a 9 to 5 job, I was really appreciated by my team members, by my bosses. They loved working with me. Just like with my student, okay, her boss loves her, and she's, like I said, she's getting promoted. It's probably the same thing to you. The same thing for you. And the reason that I'm saying this is because the fact that you're good at your job means that you have some particular qualities that are really important. Okay, you have some gifts that are really important, and you know how to use them. And recognizing this is really important. And you're going to see why when we get into those 4 doable steps that you're going to use to go from being an employee at your 9 to 5 job to being your own boss as a spiritual life coach. Okay. So let's see, and I've got my notes here, so I'm going to keep glancing at my notes to make sure that I am on time with everything here. All right. Now, let's see. Right. So, okay. You also, and this is really important because I'm talking to you from my own experience. I worked in a dental office for a couple of decades, and I really loved my work because I got to work with people, and I was in a position of being the good guy. The dentist was the bad guy because the dentist caused the pain, but I was the good guy in that I helped people feel better, and I gave them moral encouragement and, helped them to feel better. And that was really rewarding in so many ways. I am a person who naturally wants to be of service. And again, this is important because I believe that you are as well. So understanding that your desire to be of service is actually one of your gifts, and one of your strengths is immensely important. And again, you're going to see why when I get into the steps. Okay. You're probably also, like me, you are very good at giving advice. Like you could see things that people in the situation could not see. So in a way, you could give a higher self perspective. And I'm not saying that you are always giving the higher self perspective, but the fact is people have come to you with problems, whether it's friends or, your siblings or even your parents. They'll come to you with a problem. They'll come to you with some kind of a gripe, and you have the ability to take a broader view, a broader perspective. Okay, this is super important to recognize that not everybody can do that. Okay, sometimes you can take your problem, and you've seen it. You take your problem to a friend, and you've got that friend. We've all got that friend who all of a sudden that friend is down in the problem with you, and they are not adding anything. They are not making your problem better. In fact, they're making it worse because they are telling you all the wrong stuff. Okay, they're having you focus on all the wrong things. Okay, you are probably not that friend. you're more likely the friend who's like, oh, let me listen and let me show you what I can see. And you probably are giving pretty darn good advice. All right. I'm assuming that. And y'all, I'm going to make sure that I stay on point here, but I'm also going to check and make sure that I am getting your getting your feedback in the comments. All right, so why don't you let me know what kind of friend you are? Are you that friend that's kind of down in the trenches, or are you that friend that takes the higher self perspective? I tend to be, okay, look, it depends on what the issue is. I will get down in the trenches with a friend, but I'll only stay down there for about 3 minutes. And then I'm like, look, it's really stuffy down in these trenches. I'm gonna go up and get some higher self perspective, and I'm gonna hold space for you to come up here with me when you're ready, okay? But this is really important because, again, as I said, this is a part of your spiritual gifts. It is important to understand that the universe is showing you who you are. And the fact that you feel this calling to be a spiritual life coach, it's really important, okay? And it means that when you go to work on your 9-to-5 job, and here you are, you're a magical thinker. You believe in spirituality, you believe in subtle energy, you believe in the Great Awakening, you believe in numerology, astrology, and that is who you are, but you can't bring that into the 9-to-5, okay? You are not allowed to talk about that stuff at the 9-to-5. You don't know who you're gonna offend. People are gonna look at you like you're crazy, okay? This is what people go through. This is why I'm here talking about this, and this is why we do this in the League of Badass Butterflies, because your divine calling, that thing that you know is coming from your soul, this drive to become a spiritual life coach is a real thing. And many people out in the world are ignoring their divine impulses because they are locked into the 3-dimensional world, and they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in the power of the divine call. And you do. And I do. You do, and I do, and all my students do. And we are here to help people wake up to their own divine calling. And that is what a spiritual life coach does. We help people awaken to their divine calling. Okay. Now, so you want to leave your 9-to-5 job so that you can do your own thing. Okay. Working for yourself, doing work that inspires you, and doing work that actually makes you say, I love my work. Okay, this is what I have to say every day. I literally, at the end of my day, I get in bed and I look up, okay, because that's my way of doing it. But I look up and I say, beloved higher self, thank you. And I say, beloved soul, thank you. And then I say, beloved spiritual guidance team, thank you. And I think back over all the people that I saw, all the questions that my students have, and the way they're working. And I get really teary-eyed when I work with my clients because I see them having these incredible breakthroughs, like someone who's afraid, terrified to do something for themselves, and then they do it, and then they have the awakening, and you saw them, that fear was real for them. When you see that, and it makes me get choked up. I get choked up over my people because it is a huge deal to transform yourself. It is a huge deal to watch a woman give birth to herself, to give birth to her dreams. It is an incredible experience. And that is what spiritual life coaches do. And every morning I jump out of bed and I am excited, okay? And I am no longer, look, I'm no longer grateful for anything. Why? Because I have moved into full alignment with my divine purpose, with my higher self, and I am living that. I have moved from the cocoon, caterpillar stage, in that chrysalis, broken free and am now living that badass butterfly lifestyle, which means, okay, and I'm not saying that it's easy, all right, it does not get easier. Yeah, well, yes, it does get easier because when you become that badass butterfly, it does get easier, okay? And here's why it gets easier. You stop struggling. The whole point of being a badass butterfly is that you don't really struggle any longer. We're struggling to get out of the cocoon, but then when you become a butterfly, you're using your instincts, you're using your radar to lead you to where you need to go. And you're using the wind, and you've learned that you don't really struggle against the wind. You ride those currents, and you ride the currents to the next level, and that's how you make your way. But that's not about struggling. It's about going with the flow and releasing resistance and letting the wind carry you, okay? Now, I want to do a little check-in, and I want to see if you all have any questions. Let's see, and any comments, okay? Feel free always to put your comments in. Okay, Lindsay says, Lindsay, I love the way you spell your name, by the way. I've never seen it spelled Lynn, Lynn, like I spell Crystal Lynn, with the SIE. That is really, really cute. She says, I am that brutally honest, best friend you'll ever have. However, tells you what you need to know, not necessarily what you want to know. I'm all about having fun and living your best life, but I also sit in the dark with you as well. I'm always here. Yeah. Yes, I love that so much because number one, that's what I appreciate. And I like to be that friend as well. It's natural for me. It's authentic. I cannot do something inauthentic. And so I've learned, I'm sure as you have learned also, how to bring that love into that dark space, right? And how to bring that love along with that brutal honesty. That is, I think, what makes us really powerful, transformational coaches. So I applaud you for that. And Lindsay says, man, my awakening was super tough. I wish I had someone to walk me through it and be with me. Yes, 100%. I love that you're saying that because this is really exactly what I am talking about or going to be talking about as I tuck into the next, into the steps. And hey, is that Shalay? Hey, how are you, darling? It's good to see you. I'm so glad that you have joined us. So let me get into what those steps are, okay? This is where our work is. And by the way, if you're watching, can you let me know what kind of work you're doing currently? Like if you're retired, okay, great. But tell me like what industry you work in, or like what's your 9 to 5? What's your, what's your kind of primary breadwinning work, okay? So today we're talking about, we're talking about the 4 steps that you need to take before you leave your 9 to 5 job, okay? Now, I, with my trusty assistant, Rebecca, we have created a divine coaching business roadmap and strategy workbook. And look, this is a really important thing that I use. And I want to invite you to book in a strategy session with me if you are ready to start leaving your 9 to 5 job, okay? And I'll talk to you more about this at the end. But this whole thing about leaving your job, it's a very real thing that you can do. You just need to know what to do, all right? And today we're going to talk about like the 4 major things that you need to do before you actually leave, all right? Now, if you want to book in a strategy session with me, just say strategy, okay? Put a note in the message in the comments and say strategy, and we'll get in touch with you and book you in a session. And then when you get booked in, you're going to get this this roadmap and strategy workbook emailed to you so that you can fill it out before our session. All right. So if you're ready to book your strategy call, meaning you know you are ready to become a spiritual life coach and you've made the decision, this is what you're doing, then let's talk about what that looks like. Let's create a strategy together. I have you do that workbook ahead of time so that when you come in to talk to me, you already have the answers, and it's a really efficient use of both of our time, okay? But, so again, if you want to do a strategy session, in the comments, just type strategy, and then we will reach out to you through DM, through chat. We'll book the session, and then you're going to get that workbook sent to you. All right. Now, let's get into the 4 doable steps. All right. So you are currently working on your 9-to-5 job, and you are in a good place. All right. You are taken care of by your job, but it's just not fulfilling. You know you don't belong there, and you want to be able to move into your own business and to take care of yourself and to be appreciative in your own business, right? The first step, okay, is to access the divine feminine so that you can identify your spiritual gifts of magic and your spiritual gifts of experience. Rebecca, can you please type those key phrases into the comments? Because I want to make sure that our ladies remember these key phrases. Your spiritual gifts of magic and your spiritual gifts of experience, okay? Those come from the divine feminine. Now, during this first phase, that basically means that you're getting in touch with the spiritual gifts that come from the divine feminine. There are 2 major classifications that I like to use. One is your spiritual gifts of magic, and the other is your spiritual gifts of experience. Your spiritual gifts of magic are the mystical gifts that make you spiritual and make you who you are, okay? They can be as basic as your intuition, okay? Your channeling downloads, or they can be more robust, like casting spells, divining, opening portals, shepherding people through the shadows, and of course, doing healing work, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's quantum healing or Reiki, of course, okay? Now, those are your spiritual gifts of magic. Your spiritual gifts of experience come from the obstacles and challenges that grew you, pushed you out of your comfort zone, okay, and taught you profound life lessons. Now, these experiences are marked by strong emotions, and these are times when the goddess was with you, walking you through this, because this is the work of the goddess, okay? When we are going through these deep challenges, rest assured, you have by your side goddesses such as Kali, Kali Ma. You have Pele next to you, okay? You've got, warriors like Freya. These are goddesses that when you are in strife, they are naturally called in because this is their domain. They are the goddesses of transformation. And this is why our work is so valuable, okay? Now, these experiences were most likely accompanied by some kind of major transformation, a big spiritual awakening, and just big changes that you've made in your life. They were mindset shifting. You had your mind blown and you experienced probably some kind of a major upheaval that was extremely uncomfortable. Okay, so why is this the important first step? Why are we doing this? Because as a spiritual life coach, your greatest assets are your magic and your experience, okay? Your spiritual gift of magic is what connects you to spirit. This is how spirit uses you to help other people. Without conscious awareness of this really important energy between you and energy and spirit, and how all of this is connected, you're not a spiritual life coach, you're just a life coach. Okay, if you aren't connected to your spiritual gifts of magic, you're just a life coach. You're a traditional life coach. There is nothing wrong with that, by the way. It's just not who we are. All right, just like there's nothing wrong with your corporate job. It's just not who you are. All right, I wasn't my corporate job. I wasn't at my best there. I'm now at my best. I'm now living my best life. And it's because I've made the decision to pursue this passion, which is mine. Okay. Now, for your spiritual gifts of experience, how else can I say it? But hard knocks tames and trains your ego. Come on, let's face it. When you have gotten your butt kicked, okay, when your ego has gotten its butt kicked, that is when your ego is like, I'm gonna sit down back here and I'm gonna be quiet. I ain't saying nothing. Oh my God, I've been humbled. So these experiences push you to break through the ego. This is the rebirth process. It's like the caterpillar bursting through its old skin, where the old skin has to die, the old ways of being, the old limitations have to die so that the new can come forward. Okay, so that's really the importance of your spiritual gifts of experience. So the spiritual gifts of experience are your painful experiences, the traumas, the dramas, the obstacles, the challenges that you've lived through. Okay, and they have given you a particular education, a particular knowledge about something particular in life. Okay, things that you've gone through are really special, and I know they hurt. Okay, I know they were painful, but the fact is you survived them, and here you are. You're a spiritual life coach. This qualifies you to help other people. It's a big deal. Okay, now because you've gone through those dark experiences and you didn't come out and say, I'm shutting down. I'm not going to ever talk about that again. I'm not going to deal with that, and I'm not going to hide away from others. Instead, you've come back out and you're like, wow, I've gone through that. I can help other people who are going through this. I know what they're going through. That's empathy. That's compassion. Okay. That's sympathy. Sure, you got sympathy, but the empathy and the compassion are really big in you. And these are really important. Okay. This positions you very uniquely to help people who have gone through the same thing. So getting really clear about your experiences and how they can help you to be, if you get clear about these things now during this first phase, you're going to know where you're going. You're going to know why you're here, and you're going to feel really confident and really empowered as a spiritual life coach. And you need to feel empowered as you're doing this work, because it's quite badass, and you're going to be having your own business. Okay. I want to just check in and see if there's any feedback from you all. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Always begin and end with love. That is so, so true. Laura, you made it. Hey, better late than never. So glad you made it. And Anola is here. It's wonderful to see you, Anola. Thank you so much for joining. It's always wonderful to see you. And Lindsay says, I am magic. That is it. That is the attitude. That is the attitude, my friend. Okay, that is the attitude you must take in order to be successful here. Excellent. And Rebecca, thank you so much for sharing the first step. Excellent. So let's get into the second step, y'all. The second step, okay, we're still in the realm of the divine feminine, and you know why I'm doing it this way, right? You know that everything begins in the realm of the divine feminine, in the womb of the world. That's where it all begins, okay? Now, step 2 is to act. You hit cut. My God, Rebecca is working in my notes with me, and she just cut out a big blurb of my notes. That was funny. Okay, no problem. But that's cute, honey. Thank you for the giggle. So step 2 is to access the divine feminine again, okay, so that you can create your coaching vision. All right. So it's step 2. Step 1 is getting in touch with the divine feminine to get in touch with your spiritual gifts of magic and your spiritual gifts of experience. Now, we're going to go tune into the divine feminine and create your coaching vision. Okay. Now we're creating the vision next. And then, of course, just hint, we're going to give birth to that vision. All right. But for right now, we're talking about the creation of the vision itself. So during this important phase, you've got to think about all the different ways that you can bring your coaching and healing to the public. All right. You need to think about who you want to help, how you want to help them, and even things like where do you want to offer your services? You know, I really like to, boy, I remember when I was first building my business, oh my God, I was working in the dental office, and it took me a year. So my very first business was my wellness center. I did massage and I was a Reiki master, and it was great. I had 13 people working for me. That was like my kind of base. It was really, really fantastic. But before that thing could open, before I could open my doors, I had to do a whole lot of mental, spiritual, energetic work getting clear. I spent probably 6 months just doing writing, being, connecting with spirit, putting ideas into form, putting ideas into place, and getting really, really, really clear about my vision. And then the actual building of my place was done in about 8 weeks. I had the entire place built physically in about 8 weeks, in about 2 months. But all that other time was spent in the creative divine feminine process. Okay. So why is this really important? Why do we need this step of creating the coaching vision? Well, in order to really be successful at this, you want to, again, not create from your ego, but create from your soul. You want to create from your higher self, and you want to bring all of the truth of you into this business. This is really important. And you don't want to neglect parts of yourself. So by connecting with the divine feminine and spending time chewing on ideas and taking deep dives into your coaching business and what you want to create, what you're doing is you are engaging with spirit, and you're bringing up your old ancient wisdom, your old ancient connections, okay? So part of this process of creating your coaching vision is looking at your astrology, looking at your numerology, looking at your past lives, looking at the Akashic records, understanding your karma, understanding, yourself in terms of who you were before and what you went through before and what you're doing now. Okay. When I looked at my past lives, I've been a high priestess for many past lives, but I've also been a prostitute. I've been a call girl. I've been a dancer. All these past lives, lives of crime, but also lives of grace. Okay. So my job here as a spiritual life coach is, really to help women deal with issues of worth and finding their legitimacy, finding their voice in their life and giving birth to their power. But I had to discover that. I didn't just know that. Okay, I didn't just know that. I had to discover it. And that's what this next step is really all about. Step 3, oh no, sorry. I'm in step 2, sorry. Still in step 2 is about accessing the divine feminine to create your coaching vision. Okay. All right, let's go into step 3 right now. Step 3 is to access the divine masculine to strategize your financial provisions. Ooh, what did Crystalline just say? All right. Now, steps 1 and 2 were very much related. It's about, connecting to the feminine, seeing what you have to offer, and then creating your vision. Okay. I'm jumping in a little bit quickly to step 3 because I feel like with steps 1 and 2, I'm preaching to the choir. Like, you all get steps 1 and 2. And that is not where you all need help. You don't need help understanding your gifts of magic. You need some help, like learning how to bring that into a coaching program. I know you need that kind of help, but that's not what the help you need right now. The thing that you need that's going to get you out of your 9-to-5 job is step number 3, accessing the divine masculine so that you can strategize your financial provisions. Okay. What on earth is Crystalline talking about? Well, let me put it to you like this. You work a 9-to-5 job because it pays you. In other words, you need to get paid. All right. You need to pay for healthcare. You need to support your family. You need food to eat. You need to buy gasoline to put in your car. All right. You want to buy your home. You got to have money for that. You want to give to your community. You want to give to charity. You want to support people around the world who are around your community who are not as empowered as you are, who don't have as much as you do. You want to support your church. You want to support what you want to do. You also want to buy yourself some tarot cards, okay? And you want to buy some books, and you want to buy some crystals, okay? And maybe you want to buy yourself some earrings, and you want to get your hair done, okay? You want to do some things, all right, with your life. You need money to pay for that, okay? You want to buy music. You need money to pay for that, okay? Doing all of these things requires money. And in order for you to leave your 9-to-5 job, you need to have solid financial planning. And it cannot be about, oh, I'm going to hope that the money will come, because that does not work. That does not work. Unless you don't mind struggling and being behind the 8 ball. If you don't mind not being able to pay your rent, if you don't mind not knowing where your money's going to come from, if you don't mind the threat of your electricity being turned off because you did not pay your bills, then you can skip 3. You can skip step number 3. But I'm not interested. I'm not interested in taking that kind of approach. I did that. It was really painful. Finding myself homeless was painful. Borrowing money from friends and family was extremely painful. Not knowing how I was going to pay my rent was extremely painful. And running through my savings, living off of credit cards, and having to borrow money on your credit cards, that is really painful and extremely expensive, y'all. Okay, because the moment you have to put that credit card into a machine and put in a PIN to get cash on your credit card, that's painful. There's a price to pay for that. All of a sudden, your interest goes up from, 5% up to 25%. That's ugly and scary. I do not recommend you do that. I recommend you take step number 3, access the divine masculine to strategize your financial provisions. In other words, do some serious financial planning. Figure out how you're going to make money as a spiritual life coach. All right. And look, that's what I'm here for, y'all. And again, I've got an invitation for you that I'm going to tell you about in just about 5 minutes. Let me get through the last step. I know that you all understand what I'm talking about with step 3, because you all don't want to be financial failures. You don't want to be like a martyr who's like, oh yeah, I'm a spiritual life coach. I gave everything for spirit and I martyred myself, and I left my family nothing and I was a martyr. Like, that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to actually have a successful life and be successful completely in your life. I appreciate that. And let's talk about what step 4 is, because we don't have to imagine the worst. We already know that it exists, and we've already decided that we don't have to go down that road. Okay. So step 4 is the most logical and the most challenging step. Okay. So in order to leave your 9-to-5 job, okay, successfully, so that you can actually become a successful spiritual life coach, you're going to need to access the divine masculine so that you can build your divine coaching business before you leave your 9-to-5 job. Now, I've met so many people who are waiting to leave their 9-to-5 job before they start building their business. But you don't have to wait, okay? You need to start building your business while you are working your 9-to-5 job. My friend, you need that 9-to-5 job to support you while you're building your business. And yes, you will be working both for a little while because you have to build your business. Let's say that right now you're working on a job, you've got a decent job, you're making $80,000 a year, okay? Making $80,000 a year. You quit that job, you're not going to have that income. And realistically speaking, your first year as a spiritual life coach, you may not make more than $15,000 that first year. Why? Because there's a lot to do to build your business. Now, if you wait to build your business, and if you quit your job first, and then you start building your business, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. You're going to go through all your savings very quickly, because it takes a lot to build a spiritual life coaching business. It's not hard to do because you're not going to be doing anything that you can't do. It's not like you have to learn how to, the human brain and do brain surgery. No, but you do have to learn spiritual life coaching business. Okay, you have to know what needs to be in place. You need to know the order in which you do things. You need to know the steps to take. You need to know how this is done. You need to know how to market. You need to know how to bring in clients. You need to know how to coach people. There's a lot that you need to know, but it's not brain surgery. Okay, you just need to learn the things that you need to do, and then you need to do them. All right. And I have to say, okay, look, I am not perfect. I am still growing. Okay. I've been at this for 10 years, but I'm not ungrown. Okay. I still put myself out of my comfort zone. I'm always expanding and expanding and expanding as a woman, as a coach. And I had a breakdown. Okay. I had a little breakdown a few days ago. There were tears. And, I work with a life coach myself. I work with a coach and a mentor. And she showed me some things that I was doing wrong. And I did not realize that I was doing these things wrong. And my heart broke, and I just broke down in tears and had to take a day. All right. So my point is that there's always going to be some challenges, and there's a lot of stuff that you have to learn. And you should get your mindset ready to appreciate the learning process, which I'm sure you already do. Okay, you probably already do. If you don't, I'm sorry, this is unavoidable. You're gonna have to learn, and sometimes the learning, there's some pain involved a little bit with learning, not all the time, but sometimes you might find yourself in tears. Okay, so right now, you're working on your job. And the sooner if you want to get out of your job as soon as possible, and you want to start being a life coach as soon as possible, you have to leave. You have to not leave. You need to start building your business now. Okay. You need to start now. And, it takes 40 weeks for a woman to get the baby, conceive, conception, okay? Ooh, swimming, swimming, swimming. Here's the egg. Here's this little guy swimming. Whoop, whoop. Conception. All right. Conception. And then cellular division, cellular division, cellular division, little embryo, little fetus, growing, growing, growth, 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 growth. 40 weeks to conceive of a baby, and then for your body to build that baby. What makes you think it's different for your business? Being a spiritual life coach, getting yourself certified so that you know how to coach people, figuring out who your ideal client is, determining what your specialty is, understanding how to bring your spiritual gifts to the marketplace, how you're going to help people, developing your program, developing your curriculum, all of those things, putting together your menu of services, creating your social media platform so people know who you are, developing your spiritual philosophy, building out your website so that you have a web presence, letting people, creating all the words, the messaging and the content that lets people know who you are, making the videos, doing all these things. This takes time. Okay, whether you're working on it full time, if you quit your job and you're like, oh, I'm going to get it done quicker because I've quit my job, doesn't work that way. You still have to do the building. So it's much more realistic to think, okay, I'm going to start off by doing this while I'm working this 9 to 5. Okay, I'm going to work on the weekends sometimes on my business. I'm going to get up a little early. I'm going to stay up a little late, and I'm going to build it out. Okay. And I'm going to have a system. That is the badass butterfly way, using a system, using the divine masculine structures of good, solid business principles. That's going to make you successful. That's going to make you successful. Okay. Now I'm going to check in and see who's here. Okay. See what y'all are talking about. All right. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for sharing and posting here for us those different steps. And Anola says, embrace the positive you and fulfillment of your feminine purpose of spirituality. That's beautiful, Anola. Really, really beautiful. Now, let me also double check and see what. Hey, Emily, thank you so much for joining us here. Thanks so much, friend. So look, y'all, I want to make sure I wrap this up real quick here. So I want to extend to you an invitation to work with me. All right. Now, building your spiritual life coaching business requires a lot of different steps. And it's important that you get all the steps in the right order. If you don't, you're going to be spinning your wheels, and you will end up with heartbreak and a lot of wasted time and energy and disappointment. It doesn't have to be that way. I've put together an incredible program. It's 40 weeks long, and it is all about getting you certified and getting your entire business up and running. Everything that I've just said, getting your certification, teaching you how to coach people, identifying your ideal client, helping you determine your specialty, helping you create your website, helping you create your messaging, all of these things, your social media presence, your marketing plan, and helping you put all that together, helping you enroll your clients, helping you build your email list, helping you create your lead magnets. I help you do all of that in my program, and I want to invite you to join me in my program. It's called Spiritual Life Coach Certification for Badass Butterflies. Okay. And if you want to learn more, then let's hop on a strategy call. In the comments, type strategy or send me a private message, okay, if you prefer to do that. And we will get you booked for to meet, and we will also get you the workbook for this week, that roadmap and strategy workbook for your divine coaching business. All right, very good. Look, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for today. We will be back here next Tuesday to talk about another interesting topic. But for right now, I look forward to seeing you in the League of Badass Butterflies. All right. Thanks so much for joining me, my friend. Bye for now. Bye, everybody.